Welcome back. I'm Anthony Vultaggio, and this is The Outer Watch. Today I'm joined with Brenda Garcia, who is a stunt woman and actress in Hollywood, and is a woman of tremendous faith. And so I'm just very excited that you came to spend some time with us here at The Outer Watch and to learn more about you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're a fascinating woman.
Thanks.
So tell me, what made you get into Hollywood?
So funny thing is, like, I always wanted to work in Hollywood. Like, it was always my childhood dream to work in movies. But growing up where I did, I was like, yeah, that's far-fetched. It's like probably never going to happen. I just thought that was just the reality, because the truth is you got to know people to work in Hollywood, and I didn't know anybody. So it was always a dream of mine. And I just was at the right place at the right time. I was discovered. And so when that happened, I took the opportunity, of course, and I ran with it. And when I got discovered the second time, which was for the stunt part, the stunt coordinator that found me said, "You're going to be busy because you are small and there is a need for you." And he was right. And so I've had so much fun ever since. I definitely feel like it's been my calling to be there. The way I have described this whole experience to other people is Hollywood is my Calcutta. That's been my mission territory. It's where I go and I share the love of Christ with everybody I encounter. And it's been such a blessing. And, you know, there's been setbacks here and there. There's been times where I've feared losing everything over it. And then with God's goodness, with a lot of prayer and maturity in the faith.
But losing everything, do you mean like your soul or like
that
finances?
too? Like if I were, because I did go through a time where before I grew in my maturity in the faith, I was going through a time where, again, I wasn't fully practicing my faith yet. This was more than 10 years ago. And I was being offered amazing acting roles, which is part of the reason why I'm doing a lot more stunts, because acting, it was more risque. And so I was being offered roles where it would basically enable me to compromise who I was and be immodest and blah, blah, blah. And so it was tempting because I was newer to Hollywood, and it was like a lot of things that I've always wanted, the worldly things, right? The money, the fame, the opportunities, more doors will open. And then when I started to feel myself wrestling with my own soul, that's when things started to get intense and really serious. So, you know, I told my mom, hey, I'm being offered this really big role. It's going to require me to do such a thing that I know we're all against. Should I do it? She goes, I'm not going to answer that for you because you know the answer and it's up to you. And she was trying to make me grow. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, why can't it be easier? And so I was hoping she'd say, yeah, just do it. It's fine. And kind of I was thinking that, but I was like, no, I was wrestling with myself. And so I took it to prayer. And that same night, I needed to respond to my agent because they needed an answer right away. So I call her back, and my voice is like shaking. I said, I'm sorry, I can't take this. And she goes, oh, really? Well, good luck being a Christian in Hollywood. And she hung up on me.
Wow.
And then I started to cry. I was like, I'm just getting started. Huge roles like this don't really happen that easily for people, and I got really lucky, and I don't know what I'm doing with myself at this point. And so that's when I started to realize I need to make a decision. Am I going to live with conviction as a true Christian, or am I going to be wishy-washy, one foot in, one foot out? I have to make a decision because I'm not at peace the way it is right now. So I made the decision to go all in with Jesus, which is the way I knew was going to be peaceful for me. And I said no to even like things that had bad words at the time. And so that's when more opportunities for stunts came about, which has been a huge blessing because then, like, in all humility, I get to dress up as a little boy now. They put me in a wig.
Well, so you wanted originally to get into Hollywood for the glitz and the glamour and for the fame and fortune. And then you were asked to do things that you were not only not comfortable with, but went against your faith and your own morals. And, and you had to say no. And that took a lot. Obviously, you said you cried, but I'm sure it wasn't just that easy. You just cried and then it was over. I'm sure you wrestled with it for a long time.
For like years, yeah.
But this happens to Christian women all the time in Hollywood, right? Where they have to reach a point where they make this decision. What's their line? So what would you tell them?
Well, I would say, well, what is your line? Like, do you love Jesus or do you love the world more? What matters more to you? What does it profit you to gain the world but lose your soul? I had to really question that because everything was there in front of me. It's not like it was a possibility. It was there if I wanted it. And so it's like, okay, wow. That's
it's one thing if it's like just a theory. It's another when you're like
it's
asked to do the part and it's the part and you're,
I'm like, and it's a huge thing. And I knew like, okay, doors will open for sure, but am I going to regret this? And I would have. I know now I would have.
Yeah.
I know for sure I would have. And I'm thankful I didn't do it because doors opened for me anyway in a different way. I would say a better way.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, now, like fast forward years ahead, I don't crave the things I did as a kid when I was immature. Like, I wanted to be popular and I wanted people to admire me. That's just like, why would I want that?
Well, Hollywood is really just high school on steroids, right?
That's right.
Where it's you want to be the popular one and and so do you counsel women in Hollywood now?
I do, you know.
If they seek it, I guess.
Of course, yeah. I don't just go and I start
bring a sign.
Right. Yeah, no. And that's part of what been my journey is like I took it so serious that I said, Lord, I can't just start talking to people about you either, because that's not really how it works either. I have to discern everything when it's the right time, when it's the right place to do it. Gain rapport first, maybe at times. Sometimes it's an instant moment where they need something from the Holy Spirit. So really, it takes discernment. So in those times while I'm growing in my career as a stunt woman, I'm also growing in my faith simultaneously. And I took my faith very seriously, and I did a lot of things. I would do retreats with the Carmelites, with monks, Benedictines, like every religious order you can think of, I did it. Like with the Jesuits, the Ignatian spiritual exercises, I did that for 10 weeks. And that was
Is this while you're filming, or are you just saying in between?
Yeah. Like on weekends and stuff, or when I'm not filming, if I have a few weeks off, I'm invested in the monastery, and I'm spending time with monks, and I'm praying with them contemplatively all day. And I loved it, yeah.
So God, well, you closed the door. You closed the door on that kind of a life, and you said yes to God, and He opened up more doors for you. And it's made all the difference. But tell us a little bit about your career, though. I mean, what have you done, and what kind of films have you been in?
Okay, well, thank you for that. I've done a lot of amazing things, like all God's goodness, of course. A lot of major box office feature films, which is another crazy thing that not just any person can get.
Are there names I would recognize?
Yeah. Okay, so Academy Award nominated One Battle After Another movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Fast and the Furious, Fast 10, Bird Box with Sandra Bullock, Avatar, The Way of Water, Transformers last night, like Ant-Man and the Wasp, a lot of amazing.
Quite a bit. And those are box office.
Yeah. I've been super blessed.
Wow.
So, yeah, I have received the SAG Awards nomination for the Outstanding Ensemble work. So feature films, major like primetime television shows, like Lethal Weapon, SWAT, a lot of Hawaii Five-0. Like, had a little acting thing too in that. So.
Other than dressing up as boys, what do you do? I mean, that's not quite a stunt, dressing up as a boy, but...
It is for me. And then when the wig comes off, everyone's like, who's that? It's so funny.
So what are some of the things you've done?
Like stunt-wise?
You fall off of buildings or...
Yeah, that's part of it. Some it's like Safe Haven movie, like there was a small building, which was like a grocery store in the movie. It was on fire, so I had to jump out of that into Josh Duhamel's arms, which was his stunt double at the time. Stuff like that, like working with fire, doing drowning sequences, so underwater work, wire work.
Wire work?
Yeah, which is like when they put me in a harness and they throw me around or flip me around, whatever they want me to do. Yeah, you know, sometimes small fight type things or falls.
You are a martial artist.
I train in that, yeah. I wouldn't call myself, I'm a martial artist. I like to train in it. Because I say this because with all due respect, I have friends that are like UFC fighters that really fight people. And so I train recreationally to stay in shape and to get me prepared for work.
You fight the devil.
That's right. Yeah, I do. He's scared of me.
Well, so now those are pretty serious stunts.
Mm-hmm.
You ever gotten hurt?
I have a little bit. Thankfully, nothing serious, knock on wood, no broken bones. Lots of whiplash, scrapes, bruises, a lot of things that are typically kind of expected from stunt people.
Did you have to take a class for any of this? I mean, how did...
So I started first of all as an athlete already as a kid. I was already in gymnastics and then competing. But when I formally got into stunts, I went to a formal circus camp and I started to train in circus with stunt people. Yeah. So it's like circus, like entry-level stuff. So it's like circus training, like literally like the Chinese pole.
So if this didn't work out, you could just go
join
to the
a circus. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
So you actually got some training, but then you probably learn on the set, right?
I would say yes and no, because you're expected as a professional to know already. In my case, obviously, I was very fortunate that I wasn't afraid to, obviously the person that hired me knew it was my first job because he knew he was the guy that hired me.
Right.
So he gave me like a fairly easy stunt for my first stunt. And he knew it was my first day as a stunt performer. So a lot of grace is there. That's how I knew it was God's will for me, because the way the doors opened for me and the way things worked out, such a blessing. But if you're going to go in your first day and it's like a feature film, you better know what you're doing, because there's a lot of risk and all that. But.
So if a good Christian woman is watching this and she wants to get into stunts, you would tell her,
why would you want to fall down a bunch of stairs? Why would you want to do that? Why? Yeah.
That's really funny. Yeah. Even though you love doing it, you tell them,
like,
join the convent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you want neck pain forever? It's up to you, but yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, can you see yourself doing this more? I mean, you're still a young lady.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to do this as long as I can, physically and everything. I love what I do, absolutely. I was born for this, definitely. It's also just like an athlete job. Like, there's a shelf life, just like professional athletes retire pretty young, so do stunt performers. Not all, because we're a little crazy too, you know? Like, we do go out for a long time and we enjoy it. I have friends that are in their 70s still hitting the ground, like, amazing. It's so impressive.
I was going to say, like, if you were a little girl or an old lady, an old guy,
I'd still do it.
Pratfall?
I'd still do it. Yeah, if I'm capable, why not? Yeah, it's fun, especially if you know what you're doing.
Like a remake of the Golden Girls or something?
Why not? Yeah. Well,
I look forward to seeing that.
Oh, thanks. My little, maybe real gray hair or a wig. Yeah.
So, sort of getting back to your faith, you spend a lot of time praying. You spend a lot of time learning about Scripture, and you spend a lot of time at the convent or the monasteries. And how has that really changed your life? I know how it's changed your life professionally, but how have you really changed?
That's great. I love that. I would say, wow, it's given me a lot more peace. I used to have a lot of anxiety back in the day, and like I got healed from that. So I have like peace now, and I'm like a lot more patient than I used to be. I used to have road rage, and I used to be like, get out my way, Fast and the Furious. Like, no, before I worked on Fast and the Furious, like I was a college student, like super impatient in traffic. And now I'm just like an old lady, just kind of taking it. I mean, I don't drive like an old person, no offense, but like I'm more patient. And God has definitely done a lot of amazing, beautiful things. Definitely more patient, more understanding. I see a lot of things now that I didn't see before. Like, crazy, I think God gave me a gift to be able to see a lot of people's pain. I can see a lot of things that I couldn't see before. It's just
compassion. You have
absolutely.
a lot of compassion for people.
God, you know, I welcomed him to break me or break my heart, whatever he wanted to do, but heal it so that I can know his heart better. And I think he did that for me for sure. That was my prayer, was to be more like him. And it comes with the price too, you know.
Does come with the price. But it sounds like you're a very compassionate person. And so a lot of times when people think that you get more faithful, you get more judgmental. But I find it to be the opposite.
Yeah, yeah. Who am I to judge? Who am I?
Right.
Jesus didn't condemn the sinful woman. Why would I?
Yeah.
You know? So God is good.
Yeah.
So I just pray for continued graces because it's all God's grace. It's not like I did anything. The only thing I did was I received him and I'm cooperating with his grace. Mm-hmm. And those are two things that we must do in order to continue to work with him. Otherwise, if it's just like me without the sacraments, without his grace, I'm probably still pretty not so great. So yeah, I'm still not that great, but without it, it's worse. Yeah, it's much worse. Yeah.
Well, so where do you go from here?
From here, I'll go pray.
What about your career, your future? Like, what's in store for you now?
Well, you know, it's all in God's hands. That's how I've been living my life every day in surrender and peace, like trusting wherever he wants to take me. I try to be as actively pursuing something as much as he wants me to. You know, there's that balance, living in his peace, but also, like St. Augustine said, work as though everything depended on you, but pray as though everything depended on God. So I hustle still. I still work very, very hard. But I also pray like it's no one's business. Like I still depend 100% on God. And yeah, and I just encourage everyone to just have that beautiful balance of always putting God first and he takes care of everything else.
Do you think there'll be any chance of you getting back in front of the camera?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I did start originally in front. That's right. I started in front of the camera and then I became stunt and I loved being kind of like just the double, the shadow. I love that. I do love that. You know, I think there's a chance that I might start doing more acting work since like I get, you know, these opportunities that are being offered. Mm-hmm. I'm also super open to like producing. Like producing would be fun to create projects and stuff with like-minded people.
What are some of your interests?
Just making good, wholesome content. You know, it doesn't have to be necessarily like religious or Christian or faith at all. It could be awesome, like superhero type stuff or anything really cool, just as long as it's wholesome and doesn't risk your soul falling into sin with all the things that are out there, you know? I'm not fully like against violence. Obviously, I'm a stunt person and I do train in martial arts, so I'm not fully against that. And besides, but it's mostly like other immoral things I would say that are a little bit more risky for the soul. Because with I know this might be controversial, but with like violence, I feel like we know we're acting, we know it's all fake blood, and we clean up and we go home and everything's fine. But like nude scenes and sex scenes and stuff, it's not really like that because there's people involved, there's chemistry potentially, and it's a little more risky. So yeah.
Well, so producing.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, you were at the premiere for Seeking Beauty.
Yeah.
David Henry. Mm-hmm. That was pretty exciting. Do you see yourself doing anything like that?
That would be cool. I can see myself doing something like that. Yeah, if the opportunity arises, I think that would be really cool. I think that was actually such a blessing that he got to do something so amazing. And I do hope it's really successful. I think it's something unique too, to see someone that's in Hollywood but doing something pretty Catholic at the same time and not being afraid of that. I think that's amazing to bring both worlds together.
Well, listen, this has really been a lot of fun for me.
Thank you.
You're a lot of fun, and but also you can feel your spirit and your love for the Lord. So I wish you all the best, and hope to see some of the shows you produce.
Oh, thanks.
And hope to see you do some of those pratfalls when you're 80 years old. So
thanks, Anthony. God bless you.
God bless.
Thank you.